Hola, guten Tag, ¿cómo están? Oh, wait, is that the wrong one? Anyway, this is the Beard, the Brain, and the Brawn. I am Stuart Purcell, joined by... Actually, I wouldn't even say co-host. I think you guys do most of the work. I just sit here and talk smack. Andrew Bauman. I can't think of titles today. It's not going to happen.
The Bearded Brontosaurus.
A badassery. Woo! There you go. Alliteration for the win. And Zach, can you think of anything?
You can just call me the Brain Master for today.
Okay, the Brain Master, Mayor, and myself, Stuart Purcell. So we've had some questions as to why we are called the Beard, the Brain, and the Brawn. And obviously you can't see our bright and shining, smiling faces. Our wonderful personality, however, does shine through. Mr. Bauman over here has quite a lovely beard. One might even call it voluptuous.
I'd be one of them.
Yeah, I completely understand. It is a solid beard. And hence the beard. So I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. Zach, on the other hand, is our IT specialist here at the Indiana State Senate, and where we are all employees. And since he is the IT specialist, we just pretty much designate him as the brain.
I pretty much do all of the work, get everything together, get all this stuff up and running. So I'm also the producer.
Yeah, you do pretty much most of the work. And I lift things up and put them down. So that's the brawn. So that was easy. Anyway, what do we got today, Zach? This is where you talk.
Well, we got some hot topics for today. First, we're going to talk about the X-Men movies. As all of you guys have probably seen, we all have seen the X-Men Days of Futures Past, right?
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
So the rumors beforehand was that Rogue from the original movies was going to play some sort of role in the movie. But now it looks like in the Blu-ray release that they're actually going to have some deleted scenes from her movie.
I'm not a big Anna Paquin fan. I got this life rule that if you have a job and insurance and money and your grill is still messed up, I'm probably not even going to talk to you. So I'm certainly not going to watch a show that you're in.
Well, I think she did all right in the X-Men movies. I just don't know why they filmed her and then just kind of erased her out. I mean, they put in everybody
I can think of
else.
multiple reasons why I would erase Anna Paquin.
It is just a strange move, though. But I agree with you, Stu. Not a fan. And I watched True Blood, or did. Not a fan of hers.
No.
So good.
Definitely cheering for her to get killed pretty much every single episode.
Mm-hmm.
So what else we got?
It was a good movie, though.
It is a good movie.
Well, going off of the X-Men, the next movie, X-Men Apocalypse, it looks like they're going to recast a lot of our favorite old original characters from the movies, such as Storm, Jean Grey, and Cyclops.
I'm mostly only bummed about Jean Grey.
Yeah, Femke Janssen all
fan.
day.
That's the whole reason I
long.
stuck with season 1 of Hemlock Grove.
She was in Nip Tuck too.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. That show jumped the shark, though.
You think?
I do think Halle Berry played probably the best Storm. I don't know who else could play a better Storm.
I gotta agree with you. Oh, no. Yeah, her. Although Jada Pinkett Smith does a great Fish Mooney.
Yeah, which we'll get to here in just a little bit when we talk about Gotham.
Well, I know I was gonna throw her out there, but I was like, no, she was great in The Matrix and as Fish. So, but yeah, Halle Berry was a great Storm. Absolutely.
Poor James Marsden doesn't even get a shout out.
He was terrible. I'm not mad they killed him off. Spoilers.
He's too short. He's like 5'10".
/ spoilers brought him back.
Cool those jets.
5'10" people are definitely short. As a 5'11" and a half. It's a half. There's a half in there. We'll never forget that. What else we got, Zach?
Well, season 5. So if you don't really want to know anything about season 5 of Game of Thrones, I would kind of tune out.
/ what are you listening to our podcast for?
That's
just
true.
joking. We're glad you're here.
If you haven't read the books
Yeah,
or
okay.
watched the show, especially the show part of it, I would definitely tune out for about a minute or two. Basically, we're going to talk about Winterfell being rebuilt. After you guys all know, after season 3, Winterfell was burned to the ground. And now it looks like they're rebuilding it.
Burned?
Yeah, they messed it up. The Ironborn.
Yeah,
Give
but
it the business.
No, hold on now. The wooden parts were burned to the ground, but I mean the walls are made of stone. They said there's fissures in the walls. The water is leaking out from the hot springs. They keep the cows warm, but you can't actually burn
But
cast.
they
Didn't they
did
knock the tower down or something too?
Yeah, I think they knocked down the big tower that was in there. So the interesting part about this is that they're rebuilding it to go back to Winterfell because as of right now, if you've read any of the books, you know that we have not seen Winterfell since. So
I hear there's ghosts in there.
Lame joke.
It was a very lame joke.
They can't all be winners.
But it's definitely going to be flashbacks. So does this mean that we're going to see Mr. Sean Bean come back and play a little bit of Ned?
Well, they said another character is going to be coming back, so I assume there's going to be flashbacks of some sort.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I bet they will, and they got to spend some time anyways. They got time to burn until we get that 6th book, George.
I mean, we might as well say who the character was. If we're doing spoilers.
Tywin Lannister.
He's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back to film some scenes.
Well, although they still have to do his funeral, so one would assume that would be involved too.
Yeah, it could be.
Because he did.
He is dead.
D-E-I-D. Did.
I know a lot of other people who are thinking the reason they're doing these flashbacks was to get more brand time. So I know we mentioned probably the first week of our podcast was that Hodor, the guy who played him, said that he was not going to be in season 5. That didn't necessarily mean Bran wasn't going to be, but there could have been a high chance that he wasn't. But I think these flashbacks could lead to seeing him again. All right. Next, I know this is kind of silly and kind of ridiculous, but I just had to bring it up. On IGN.com, they had a woman who was going to sue Disney because she claims Frozen is based off of her life due to an autobiography she wrote years ago.
Having never seen Frozen, I can't really account for this other than the fact that if this chick has a living snowman around her, then I want to see it. Otherwise, picture it didn't happen.
Well, I don't think it's that far-fetched because I've long said The Lion King's based off of my life as King of the Jungle. So let's find out. Man, they sue for everything, though.
Wait, hold on. Would that not be Jungle Book?
Nah, man. I mean, if the closest
Are
representation
you a lion named Simba?
was clearly
voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Tarzan.
Okay.
But I mean, I've people have called
What was
me
that?
Mufasa.
What was that Phil Collins song for Tarzan?
Mufasa.
I don't know, but
Because there was like Circle of Life and
Disney
Hakuna
ruined Phil
Matata.
Collins. I can feel that in the air tonight.
I'm at a loss.
Genesis.
You just backtalked Phil Collins.
No, I backtalked Disney, who made Phil Collins
You're
terrible.
gonna do a drum solo on your face.
Whatever, man.
Boom boom.
That song you referenced was pre-Disney. Point proven. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about Xbox. This past week, Microsoft has unveiled the Games for Gold. So if you are an Xbox Gold Live subscriber, there's games every month that you can download for free. And the month of October for Xbox One is a game called Chariot. You can download that the entire month. And then for the 360, the first half of the month, you can get Battlefield Bad Company 2. And for the second half of the month, you can get Darksiders 2.
I'm pretty pumped for that. Battlefield Bad Company 2 was awesome, and I never did get Darksiders 2, so we'll play Xbox.
Yeah, I've definitely heard good things about both of these games. The one and every month, I think that they're getting better and better at getting us games for the 360. The only issue is the Xbox One. We haven't got any really good games, but that's also because
Watch yourself, Mayor. Are you smack talking Destiny?
No, I'm not smack. I'm talking about the free games that they give out each month.
We'll find you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a big Destiny fan, and we can talk about that here in just a minute. But I'm really wanting a good free game from them, and maybe this Cherry game's good, so I'll give it a shot.
Right on.
Anyone talking about Destiny for a second? I mean, this is now week 3?
Yep. Doing the Queen's Wrath bounties.
Oh yeah,
Pretty fun. Trying to level up so I can do the actual mission. Mostly I just want the gear. I want a new gun.
how do you guys feel about the loot cave closing down? Loot caves.
I'm real sad about that, actually.
I never really did it, but the loot drops are an issue, so I really don't have any beef with people using that glitch.
I mean, the only time I did it, me and Stu, the Brawn, were playing, and I just kept getting the same loot over and over again. I didn't get anything really unique, and a lot of it was even no improvements to my current armor.
There was a great picture on Twitter, and it was from the point of view of somebody playing. And there's this dude just standing in front of the loot cave, just standing there doing nothing. It was like, should I tell him? No. Just let him figure it out on his own. I don't know. I mean, if you're a developer and someone notices something like that and utilizes it to their advantage, why punish them for it? I mean,
Especially when the whole reason they're doing it is because the loot system is so broken.
very true.
My only beef with Destiny.
Yeah. No, I mean,
They do a good job of making sure that you don't get items that are for levels 1 through 10 when you're like a 20. I think that
Very
part
true.
they do a good job with.
Very true.
But other than that, I've been playing for 3 weeks. I'm a level 22. Jumping from 21 to 22, the level system is really kind of weird. But I still have yet to get a legendary item. So
Well, I got one for a warlock, and I'm a hunter. So my next playthrough, I'll have a dope set of gauntlets. Until then, it's in my vault. Sad face.
all right. Well, our last hot topic for the day is apparently Florida teams up with Marvel to create a Florida superhero called Captain Citrus. What do you guys think about this?
If they want to just toss me money, I already view myself as a superhero here in Indianapolis. I'll take a paycheck. I actually have not heard of that before. That's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, it actually came up today, and it was the Florida for a healthy superhero.
so let's go through.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even have my mic on. What I said was that the Florida Department of Citrus company teamed up with Marvel to create this superhero, a healthy superhero that people can relate
So let's
to.
go through his powers here.
Fighting scurvy.
I'm just saying, like, he uses lemon juice as mace.
Mhm.
Boom. You use powdered lemon juice as smoke so as to create a smoke screen and escape. Maybe your superpower is to run by someone's dish and throw some lemon zest in there to spice things up.
Ooh, that'd be a good superpower.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, fighting scurvy, vitamin C is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very true. And also spicing up any tasty adult beverages as well.
Also from the IGN, they say that he's already starred in his own digital Marvel comic and has appeared in teasers in Captain America: The Winter Soldier DVDs. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. And that guy looks weird. It's an orange with a cape.
Well, they actually have a human version of him too.
Does he
No.
turn into the orange? Because, like, what happens if he gets too close to an orange Julius and then he gets attacked and then the superhero's gone and there's, like, 12 tasty beverages?
This is the original the one who's an orange is the original Captain Citrus. I'm assuming before he teamed up with Marvel and actually made him a human from, I assume, Florida.
Do you think if he would have been around earlier, the death of Wolverine arc wouldn't have happened? Could he have been saved by the power of citrus?
Everyone needs a little bit of citrus in their life.
That's the power of pine sol, baby.
All right, guys, let's move on to the week in review. One of the big things that our podcast likes to do is talk about the latest TV shows. And since this past week was pretty much the start of the fall season premiere, we wanted to kind of go through the shows that we watch, especially go over the two biggest shows, which was Gotham and the season 2 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So let's first talk about Gotham. I know me and Andy have seen Gotham. Stu has not.
Nope.
So he's going to kind of be like the background, kind of asking questions, and me and Andy are going to kind of discuss it and kind of go into, like, does this follow the true mythos of Batman? So what are your thoughts, Andy?
Catwoman or Catgirl, I've said this a couple times. She looks like she's some sort of hybrid between a hammerhead shark and a human or an alien being. That's rude. I think the actress herself did a good job, but they just keep pulling me out because I'm thinking there's going to be a show about aliens going on, and it's not. It's about some youngster that just crawls around a bunch with her wide-spaced eyes. That being said, kids grow up, stop looking like aliens.
When it came to her, I thought it was very weird how they started with her point of view and kind of had her follow and watch the murder of the Waynes.
That's pretty
and
dark.
kind of just have her be like the watcher of Bruce, which is it's kind of a weird
Certainly.
take.
And they ended the episode with her crawling over the wall, even though it's out in the middle of nowhere, and then zoomed in on her eyes. But yeah, it was an interesting flow how they did it. The episode starts with her and ends with her, even though the show's, well, it's not even really about Bruce, it's about Gordon.
Right.
So it was interesting. I liked, as much as I'm giving her a rough time, I thought her character was fine. Really liked most of them. Didn't like the dub tease that they made Poison Ivy's family out to be. That was my biggest issue with that, and that was a pretty small cosmetic issue. It was a cool episode. I liked the Penguin, liked Fish Mooney, liked Falcone, even liked Harvey Bullock. No, it took me a minute to remember that he was the sloppy guy in the animated series. It'll be very curious how they introduce all these characters and have their stories going, because other shows we've seen when you have a lot of main characters, they can get bogged down, like a True Blood or a Lost to an extent. It'll be very interesting to see how they manage to balance out these characters, including introducing the Joker towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know this is going to sound crazy, but my biggest pet peeve, I notice things in shows that don't make sense. And one of the things that didn't make sense was at the very beginning, and we're kind of going into spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen that, you need to see it. But Selena Kyle, Catgirl, whatever you want to call her right now, she is stealing from people, and she steals a gallon of milk from a lady who just walks out of the grocery store. 2 minutes later, she goes and feeds her cat this milk, and it's already half gone. So I just want to know what happened to the milk.
Maybe she's a calcium fiend.
And I also found out that cats are actually lactose intolerant. So this also just makes no sense at all. She's just killing cats.
Let me get this straight. Y'all watching a show about a kid who grows up to dress like a bat and beat up people, in which another one of the people in there dresses like a cat and steals stuff from people. It might be an alien. Another one of the people acts like a penguin. A third person has poisonous lips. Who else is in there? The Joker, who dresses like a clown, kills people. And the question that y'all have...
Don't forget about the guy who tells riddles. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. And dude who throws in riddles when he has crimes. And your question is, what happened to the milk?
That was Zach's question.
That was my question.
Care. That's dumb.
No, that I find things that
it's continuity error.
just a little bit of doesn't make sense.
Dressing up like a bat or a cat.
But remember, we're not talking about that. That's all in the future.
That'll make sense.
This is all prelude to that. Some other things that I had kind of problems with. I mean, we fit a lot of villains, at least of all villain shout outs in the first 20 minutes. I think we hit every single one that came out in the entire episode in the first 20 minutes. So I kind of had a problem with that. I don't know if we should have started out episode 1 with the Wayne murder. I really kind of wanted to see the aspect of, how much Bruce loved his parents. I mean, I know anytime parents get murdered in front of their children, it's dramatic, but I feel like that could have been something that we could have got in a few episodes and maybe not the first one. And then my last point is, I don't know, Jim Gordon. He's a do-gooder. So it's gonna be kind of interesting.
What's the background on his wife? They're alluding to her having some dodgy backstory.
Right now, girlfriend, I think. I don't really know if wife yet. Maybe she's not even his future wife. I'm not really sure how
girlfriend or fiance or something. But yeah, it'll be curious because when her buddy showed up, they alluded to her having a dodgy backstory. And it'll be curious to see if she was a criminal, and then since he is such a do-gooder, how he feels about that, or what's going to happen with that. So I'm good show, intrigued to see where it goes.
Here's my question: are they going to have, like, let's say the show goes on for several seasons, and the kid who plays Bruce starts to grow up, like when he hits like puberty and his voice starts changing, is he occasionally going to slip into the "Where is she"? I feel like that would be nice. There's your continuity right there. That's when Batman turned into gravel voice.
I don't think we'll worry about it too much because the show's definitely about Jim, the police officer, and everybody else is a extra auxiliary character, which is interesting too because usually Batman's the main guy and you see how everybody interacts with him, where now Jim Gordon is the main guy. And even though Batman is super famous throughout the world, it's not really about him.
It's kind of about his supporting cast because Jim Gordon does do a lot of influence in Batman's life. So I definitely think that's key.
Stu, that would be hilarious though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, hi guys. I mean, sorry.
The last point I want to bring up is the crime rate in here. You know, if you,
Alfred, get me some cereal. Sorry.
during the live episode, I do live tweets, and you know, if you ever want to follow me at Zach Mayer, you can do so and see my live tweets during the episode. I mean, I point out I would never want to live in Gotham. I mean, the crime rate galore, the police. I mean, even Harvey Bullock said, you know, the police are all, I mean, pretty much corrupt. You know, they follow the laws that businessman Falcone puts on, and you know, in every movie or TV show that has Falcone, he's like this super drug lord, crime boss kind of thing. But when we saw him today, and how he portrayed himself, he was like, I am a businessman. This is my city. I love this city. I will protect this city, but I'm going to do it the way that we need crime. We need someone controlling this crime. And
Just like the old school mobster. That's what they are. He is in this. He's the old school mobster with a little bit of class, quotation.
I'm very interested to see how he plays out more into this season.
Absolutely.
So that was great. The other show, the other superhero related show that premiered this week was Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thoughts about that?
I was a big fan of the ep. It was a good episode. It set a good foundation. Interesting how they fast forward a handful of months or whatever it was that they said. And I don't know. They glossed over some of the things I'd like to know more about, which obviously they would because we have 12 more episodes or however many this season. Like know what's going on with Sky's dad, why he was in a bathtub full of blood. You know, is he an immortal? What's going on? Interesting to see how they're keeping Ward around and what his role will be in the future. Don't know if I like Zen Ward. He was kind of a strange cat when he's real chill like that.
I think this episode just brought out so many more questions that I have. You know, in the first half of the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was really bored. I was, you know, I felt like, you know, this isn't going to go anywhere. Second half after Winter Soldier was amazing. I think they closed season 1 pretty well, but now they start with episode 1 of season 2, and now I'm so confused about what's going on. You got Coulson running around with his head cut off. Sky's now some, you know, I mean, pretty much now an agent, kicking butt, training with May. You have Zen Ward, who's just locked in a cage and acting super creepy. And now you have this new material absorber who's just running around killing people.
Absorbing man.
Yeah. So it was definitely an interesting show. It was very dark.
Yeah.
They brought in new characters and then they killed those characters, and I was like, well, that was a shame.
But you knew they were fixing to die as soon as they showed up and they weren't well known.
Now, who was the nerd? Or not I shouldn't say nerd, but the tech guy. What was his name?
Who? Fitzsimmons?
Fitzsimmons, or well, Fitz.
Fitz, yeah.
Fitz. You know,
I saw that coming. Saw it coming. At first I didn't. Then about 10 minutes, like the second time they showed him, I was like, man, it's not her. She was too friendly.
Yeah. So my question is, where is she? I mean, I know she spoilers. We know she left, but we don't know where she went. And from all the posters, she's still there. So I'm assuming she'll come back. I hope, and not just leave her in this kind of weird
Limbo of sorts.
Like in Fitz's mind.
My guess is they're going to pull this for like 2-3 eps or however long. Then she'll come back, and that's how they'll spin it into him being normal again. Because let's be honest, man, they're two of the most popular people on the show, especially after the Ward flip. Everybody loves them. I highly doubt they're going to get rid of either one of those characters. I just don't see it. So it'll be curious.
Yeah, definitely. I think Fitz, I think maybe we're going to see something with either his mind's going to get back due to something maybe with the Krees, or has something to do with Sky's dad. So
who could very well be an Inhuman.
So we're going to be patient. I'm going to, keep giving this season a shot, even though this is probably one of my least favorite of the comic book shows that are coming out. Not just because, we have Flash, Arrow, Gotham. I mean, Gotham was good. Probably, I still haven't decided if that's going to be higher than Shield or lower than Shield, but I'm going to give it its due. But yeah.
I liked Gotham a lot more than I thought I would. I watched it just because I knew we'd talk about it, but I actually really enjoyed it.
All right, so going back to a topic that we were talking about earlier, jumped on the Twitter machine, and the treasure cave. Were we discussing that earlier?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, I thought so.
He apparently does not pay attention during this podcast.
You know what? I'm tired. The caffeine wore off. So they shut down the treasure cave, as it was called. Apparently, there is a new one that someone found. I have not fully researched it yet. Unfortunately, they don't talk about it in the article. There's a video. I'm not going to watch a video right now. But there is a Treasure Cave 2.0 that I will be paying close attention to so as to get my free stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so now we're going to get to the weekly digital fix, where we talk about all things in our digital life, our computers, our tablets, all the latest updates.
Maybe phablet.
Maybe phablets.
Word ever.
He's going to bring that up
every time.
Every episode.
Every time.
So let's start things off with Microsoft postpones the release of the Xbox One in China. This is kind of big news because China has not had console sales in years. And Microsoft was actually the first one, is going to be the first one to get the chance to sell their consoles. Yeah, since it's, so many people.
Well, that in China, I believe they refuse to import Nintendo or Sony because they're Japanese companies, and those two countries do not get along.
Well, PlayStation will be coming to China. I'm not sure about Nintendo. Yeah, they're coming. It's not going to be, I think it's still a month or two away, but they will be coming.
That's interesting.
And everyone was worried about where Xbox was going to go to, or when they were going to be released, if it was going to be pushed back, for a month, 2 months, but it actually it's only 6 days. So
I think it's no coincidence that it's on Monday, which is my birthday. You're welcome, China.
So it was only 6-day delay. So we'll see what the numbers is, and hopefully that can boost the Xbox sales and make it compatible with the PlayStation 4.
The word we're looking for today, boys and girls, is competitive.
Competitive. All right. Apple news now. Apple sold a record of 10 million new iPhones, both 6 and 6 Plus, in the first 3 days. That comes up from the record from the iPhone 5S and 5C, which was 9 million. So impressive numbers just for 3 days worth. I know you guys don't really care too much.
I'm probably going to end up getting a 6 just because I need a new phone. But I do not get that whole as well. I'm gonna steal your line here, but I'm the cult of Apple. I just got this phone 6 months ago, but no, I need the new phone. Does anything change? No, but it's new. Stop it.
Free yourself and no happiness.
And I get kind of irritated when people go stay in line overnight just for a phone.
I saw someone with a tent.
Yeah, there was.
I wanted to take their tent down and smother them with it.
The last time I camped out for something, PlayStation 2, Best Buy. Hashtag get at me. It was awesome.
But the other issue is that, all devices, well, not all, but a lot of devices when they first come out, they have their flaws. Case in point, the iPhone 6 Plus, if you keep it in your front pocket, has been reported to kind of warp or bend per se. And that's, it's causing a lot of issues. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, remember, it's made out of aluminum, so aluminum does bend. So you get what you take, but, just be kind of careful with it. Also, iOS 8. There was an update, 8.0.1, which was released this past week, which was causing users to have zero cell phone service and having issues with their Touch ID. This primarily focused on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Since then, 8.02 has been released that fixes these issues, along with the issues that 8.0.1 were supposed to fix, which was the health kit bugs and other updates. Let's see. If you are a student at a college or you're a faculty member, you can get Office 365 for free. All you need is a valid school email address. So I would go check out Microsoft's education site and sign up for that.
That's pretty rad.
Last, The Verge website has an article that Vizio has launched their new P-Series 4K TV starting at only $1,000 for a 50-inch TV. This is the cheapest 4K TV out there. In this article, they said they went to an event where they did side-by-side comparisons to a Samsung 8500 model, and those for a 50-inch cost $2,200.
I'm speaking out of ignorance here, but does anything actually like broadcast in 4K?
Very few things. You have to get special. Well, depending on what 4K TV you get, if you get the Sony, I believe, which is like $20,000, they give you a library of movies they upconverted that's in native 4K. But the answer to that is not a lot of movies. They're not that great in my mind. Hell, cable TV's not even 1080p yet.
No.
So I mean, it's really neat they're doing it, and I really do like Vizio. But unless you just have money to burn and you don't want to give it to me, there's not a lot of reason.
Blu-ray is 1080.
Yep.
Which eventually they're going to need 1080 or 4K Blu-ray players. But I think the point is that it's $1,000 for a 50-inch. I mean, right now you can go get a 1080p Vizio nice 50-inch TV for only $750. So spending a little bit of money for future proofing. I mean, this thing is supposed to have a 6-core processor in it, so it's supposed to be. They say it's supposed to last a long time. They didn't give in the video that they have on The Verge's website. I can't remember who was actually speaking about it, but the guy from Vizio said, it's supposed to last a long time. We put in these 6-core processors so that it can handle the load over a long time.
When TVs need a processor, that's how I know.
Well, all TVs these days have processors in it, especially for like the smart features in it. Mm-hmm. They all have it. Most of them are dual core. This one's a 6-core, so they're kind of future-proofing in itself. But in your aspect of, or when you were asking what can actually run 4K, Netflix and Amazon also have 4K streams going on. So right now, those are the only two, unless you have a 4K Blu-ray player with select discs.
So I get to see Kevin Spacey be menacing in 4K.
Yeah,
sold.
But the other good point that they brought up is Vizio's on this plan of listening to consumers. They're not into 3D anymore. They rather have the screen kind of give the depth instead of bringing it out from the screen, which I think is a really good idea. I rather see it in the screen than pushing out. Another thing that I've always thought was not very good was the curved TV. I am not a fan of this curved TV.
I would get the curved TV.
I would get the curved TV.
The other ones. I would never get a 3D.
Here's my contention, and obviously this is down the road. Since we can put processors in TVs, which I didn't know about until right now, which shows you my ignorance, here's what I'm saying. Maybe when you're playing video games, you get like 4 or 5 curved TVs. You surround yourself with them, and you somehow can project what's going on all around your character onto these TVs. So you can just look around.
The Army does that for training right now.
Right, but you just got to be careful because the Army, they use flat panels, and they just have a giant video wall. You have a curve, and the curve will then you have to actually move your head, and you have to use your peripherals. Mm-hmm. But also with a curved TV and trying to do that, you're going to have to be closer to the TV, which in case would ruin your eyes.
I don't need eyes.
It has also been noted that actually the curved TV actually limits the where you can actually watch the TV from. So unless you're like watching it from a certain angle, you're going to miss. Yeah. You're going to miss part of the screen. So Vizio said, we don't like it. We're not going to focus on that. We're focusing on getting things affordable for the consumer, which is, I think, a plus. Mm-hmm. So when you take a TV and cut it in half plus some, and then get that to consumers, I think that's a good thing.
And they've been really good.
Broken
about that
TV, you cut it in half.
So what?
It was a broken TV if you cut it in half.
Well, if you cut it in half and give it to people, you have half a TV.
Half a TV.
You know what? I really need caffeine right now. That's
all right. All right. So anything else? Did you guys watch anything else on TV this week that you want to kind of mention?
How to Get Away with Murder. I already figured it out.
You figured out the show, or you figured out how to get away with murder?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both.
And then there's that awkward pause in after.
Yeah, it's a decent show. Check it out. But I think I figured out the entire arc.
Now, you also watched Sleepy Hollow, right?
Oh yeah,
Did you like the premiere?
I did. It was really good. Don't have a whole lot to say on it though. I mean, it was just really good. They started off fast paced, pretty much right after where the other one took, where the finale ended. Give you a little loop de rooski where you think it's one thing, but it's not. But really, you knew what it was. There's a scene at the beginning that kind of sells it, so you know what's going on. I'm not going to get more detail to spoil it. If you're interested in the show, check it out. It's really good. It's a great season so far.
As for me, I've been watching Hell's Kitchen, the show called Legacy with Sean Bean.
Great show.
I do want to watch How to Get Away with Murder. That's on my queue to watch hopefully today. Also, I'm a big anime person and been caught up with Naruto Shippuden and halfway through Hunter x Hunter, which is still a continuing show.
Time out. What? What's that title?
Hunter x Hunter.
It's Japanese name.
It's Japanese.
Yeah,
It's a good show.
Whatever.
It's not bad. I mean, you have to watch it with subtitles, but
Builds character.
builds character.
I've watched one movie with subtitles, and that was The Passion of the Christ. And that
Really?
was it. Yeah. I'm not. No, I don't. I'm not. I don't go to a movie to read. If I want to read, I'll read a book
You got to
or a
expand your
magazine.
horizons, dude.
You do, and I had the problem with it for a long time because I tend to do things in the background, and I like to watch things. I tend to like do the dishes or do something else while I'm listening to shows. But these kind of shows, you have to wait years before they come to English, and so I'm just done. I'm just starting.
Okay, but if there's subtitles on the screen, you're reading the subtitles. You're not watching the show.
No, you can do both.
Reader are you?
Yeah, it's.
I'm just saying.
You would have to be the cat jumped over.
No, but like your focus is not
the moon,
entirely
and then you
on
miss
what's
the whole
going
scene.
on.
Yes, then I
So,
understand.
for instance, your point why you love Gary Oldman, which I completely understand, is that he's always doing stuff in the background, even when he's not the primary focus of the scene. If you are too busy reading the subtitles, you look up and see the action, but like you won't see the little nuances going on in the background. You may miss something.
But I'd also argue if you're watching a movie and you're looking for stuff going on in the background, it's most likely your second or third view, so you probably already know what the story is. That's my two cents.
You usually only catch the background stuff the second time you watch it. Very rarely, even if you're not watching subtitles, you won't catch everything the first time through.
Whatever.
But I grew up on subtitles because I used to watch a bunch of anime when I was a youngster. So
I don't
used to
read.
it. And I like foreign movies.
You know what I read? I read supplement facts and protein boxes.
I'm just
That's what I
asking
read.
you, would you only hold yourself to one person's workouts, or would you go to different people's training ideas?
Depends. Do I have to read when I'm working out?
Actually, yes. How do you know what you're doing next?
What?
Yeah. As I work out with you, you look at your thing to see what the next thing is. That's reading.
That's my writing.
You don't
I know
touch-
what's coming.
You don't learn the workout through osmosis.
I wish I could. That'd be
That
awesome.
would actually be really
That would be
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you on
And
that.
while we're on the subject, let's just have like workouts that I can do while I'm asleep. So wake up all jacked.
Electrolysis.
Right.
Okay. The only other show I watched was Big Bang Theory. Now we know Stu does not watch television at all.
Actually, Zach, I'm glad you asked. I did watch a show last night. Or more specifically, I watched an event last night. Completely not exactly nerd related, but Derek Jeter's last game was last night. And his last game at Yankee Stadium was last night. And for anyone who was under a rock, like my good friend Mr. Bauman here, his last at bat, the bottom of the ninth, 1 on, Mr. Jeter hits a walk-off single. Drove in a run. He had 3 RBIs last night. So it was a pretty solid game for
Go
old
Yankees.
number 2. So he's doing the designated hitting. They have 3 games left in Boston as an away game. And a lot of people were asking him why he didn't just retire last night since it was his last game at Yankee Stadium. And his response was that he not only owed it to the Yankees fans, because it's the Yankee-Boston rivalry, he not only owed it to the Yankees fans to complete, but he also owed it to the Red Sox fans because they're just as invested in the rivalry as Yankees.
Agreed. Boo Sox.
So it was interesting.
Go Yankees.
All right. That wraps up this week's The Beard, the Brain, and the Brawn. I do want to do a shout out. I just bought a T-shirt from a website called represent.com/Steven. STEPHEN. Stephen Amell is doing
That
a
was
thing for,
Stefan.
well, whatever.
Stefan.
He is doing
French.
a sale of T-shirts with his
Okay.
face on and everything like that to support F cancer. So I just like to give
Whoa,
that a
whoa,
big,
time out.
big.
He's
shout
doing
out.
sale where he sells T-shirts with his face on it?
Yeah, it's with his face on it.
Bauman.
He stole
That
the
has,
idea from me.
Let me tell you about this. We need
and he actually
This
has
is our
like
new
stubble.
idea.
Like he kind of have his like this little stubble beard thing going on it too. So
we know someone who has an exquisite beard. He's sitting next to you.
I
me.
know.
I'm looking at him.
I think
me.
we need the beard, the brain, the brawn.
Here's what we're gonna, but we couldn't necessarily like show you.
Well, you would just kind of do like an outline of our faces.
No. I'm saying we have Bauman's beard, my biceps. What are we gonna put ones and zeros in the background for you?
Well, I do have a brain.
You put just a random picture of a brain in there.
You can hold it in one of your palms.
Oh, that's good.
Curling it.
That's good.
Curling a brain.
That's good. We can do that. So we will plan our the beard, the brain, the brawn T-shirt. But if you would like to contribute, you can donate at adigitalfix.com. You can check us out on iTunes. We are there now, finally.
Give me your money.
And yeah, you can find our RSS feed and put in any podcast you really like. But yeah, if you do want to donate, go to adigitalfix.com and there's a donate button there. So I'm Zach.
The beard Bauman.
And see, you guys have like catchy names.
The muscles from Brussels.
The muscles from Brussels, but I'm Irish, so yeah.
The muscles from not Brussels.
So we are the beard, the brain, and the brawn. We are here every week. Usually
Delts
we're on
from Dublin.
usually we're on Thursdays. We've had to move it to Fridays for a couple weeks, but once we get a steady rhythm, we should be good to go. Thank you guys, and have a good night.
It's a trap.